Nifty 50 has been falling from last consecutive 5 months. If I take you to the chart, this is the daily chart of Nifty 50. Let me convert it into monthly chart. So now each candle represent 1 month, and here you can see that there is 5 consecutive red candle, and this is a very rare sight to be seen, right? I have very interesting data to show you. So this is the data, and you can see the heading of the data, Nifty burst monthly falls. This is the period, you can see it on the timeline, and these are the number of months where consecutively Nifty created a red candle. On the second row, you can see from October 2024 to February 2025, which is the recent current period, and the number of month is 5, which I have recently shown for 5 consecutive months Nifty have created red candle. However, what is interesting to be seen is that the fall is only 12.6%. Not really 12.6 is the 1 day delay data. Nifty uh, fell a little bit more yesterday. So now this is 14% something. But one thing is to be observed that even though the other period and the number of months are even lower on other time frames, for example, let's say from June 2001 to September 2001, the drop was 21.8%. However, the number of months is only 4%. Whereas you can see it's a 5 month red candle, but the drop is only 14%. So there is more potential for Nifty to go down if we just look at this data. And this is the historical data. Historical data doesn't always, show how future is going to be. However, it is the closest thing which you can relate to. So we cannot just completely ignore it. We have to give some importance to it. So the worst fall was for 8 consecutive months. The loss was for 31.4%. And this is very strange that the drop is lower in comparison to the other months where the number of red candle that has been created is way less. So anyways, let's come back to the Nifty 50 chart, and I can draw some trend line to have a better idea where Nifty might end up taking support. No one can completely predict where market is going to be, where there's going to be support and resistance, and I never try to predict it. However, as a trader, what we can do is we try to find the chance where we have the highest probability, and that's what I'm looking for. So if I draw a trend line from here, you can see this support is somewhere close to 21,600, 700 level. Actually, it's way higher because Nifty is not just going to have a sharp fall from here. It might go up a little bit, right? So it might drop a little bit and then go up, then again drop. So it might, I'm expecting somewhere here it will hit at 22,000. So this can act as a very good support, and there is no as such global sign or India, company growth is not being that great, so I don't really see any positive sign anytime soon. So I'm expecting market to drop a little bit more, and somewhere close to this trend line it might take support, and then we can see a recovery, and then it will go towards all-time high and all. Of course, this is all a probability game, so that's what I'm trying to speculate about. And if I look at the past data, look, trendline does works very well in daily time frame. It doesn't work that well in shorter time frame. However, in Nifty 50 daily time frame, it does works very well. So why is not going? Or whatever. So you can see this, and if I draw one more trend line, look at this. This is the first touch point. This is the second and third time it worked. The same thing can be seen on historical data. Look, this was the first, second, and on third time. So third time, so basically you need 2 points to draw a trend line. So this 2 point is there, or you can just say that this can be counted as the third touchdown, and it works, right? So whenever, and our market currently has is kind of similar. This trend line little bit steep, but it did work off on the third time as well. And apart from this support trend line, if we go to history and if I draw some more trend line, like from here, you can see how beautifully it worked. This was the first, second, and this is the third. It went up from here. In the similar manner, I can draw one more trend line from here, and again, it worked beautifully, right? This is the third time. Third time there was a little bit of breakout. However, the market didn't really sustain. And basically what happened is that this kind of situation makes the trend line even more stronger, because price did try to break out the trend line and did actually break out. However, the trend line is so strong that it pulled back the price. So this just makes the trend line even more stronger, and you can see later on the trend line works beautifully. This was a COVID fall. So history does repeat in the future. Not always, however, there is a higher probability of history being repeated in the future, and that's the reason why I think this trend line might act as a very strong support, and there's a very high probability once it touches this point, market will bounce back. And for this to happen, market need to fall on almost 4.5 to 5%. How much it would be? Like 3-4%. If we see a sharp fall, then it's 4.5%. So whatever might be, this trend line can act as a very good support. And the reason I see less positivity in the market is because rupee is been depreciating a lot, and you need to understand. Let me first take you to the rupee chart. Before that, if we look at the FIA DIA data, so this is the FIA DIA data, right? This is month till date, this is of February month, and as of now till this month, the FIA has net sold for 46,800 crores approximately. DIA have bought for 50,000 crores. However, FIA data is more important in this regard, and you can see it's 46,000. So if you look at the daily, on every day of the month, FIA were net seller. This day is positive 4,800, and the reason being there was a block deal, Airtel block deal. That's why you can see net buy from FIA. However, this is not, this is like exceptional day, so this cannot be accounted for. On the other day, there's one more day where if I were buyer, it was not much, less than 1,000 crores. So on the previous months, like January, so the market started falling from October, and from October you can see continuously FII were net sellers. 1,14,000 crores, 45,000 crores, 16,000 crores, 87,000 crores. So FII were continuously been selling for all this month when Nifty were not performing well. So the now coming back to the point why I was saying why I'm kind of bearish on the market is because of the USD INR. You can see how sharply USD INR chart went up, and this chart basically represent that the rupee has depreciated. So rupee was at the level of 83, 84 for a very long time, right? At this level 83, 84, 82 point something, and then suddenly Trump came and he threatened about tariff, which caused the rupee to depreciate. And I'm telling you why it's bad for the FII, because FII, they bring dollar, they convert it into rupees, and they invest in rupee. They have already invested in rupee. Now basically what happened is that they generate the income in rupee, and after the income is generated, they need to convert it into dollar. So this chart basically represent that before you need 83 rupees to get $1. Now, as rupee has depreciated, you need more rupee to get the same dollar, precisely 87 rupee to get $1. So this is what the bad for the FII, and it it basically diminishes their confidence, because if a central bank of a country, if a country currency is depreciating, then this is a huge loss, because they have to take now multiple loss. Firstly, their investment, it might perform better or might not perform better, right? It might perform worse as well. So there is a risk of that. On top of it, now you have currency risk, and currency risk does plays a very major role. So now they have double risk, and that's the reason why investment in a country might reduce because of this. as now FIA have to bring less dollar to get more rupee. Before, they if they bring $1 they can get 83 rupees. Now if they bring $1 they can get 87 rupees. However, this graph show that the central bank is not efficiently managing its currency, so it might even depreciate further. So this is a bad sign, and that's one reason. Another reason is I have shown this graph what is the average loss, and the percentage loss is quite low in this case, even though Nifty created 5 red candles. And all the technical analysis, support, resistance level, which I just drew on the Nifty 50, you can see that this very strong support is quite low, and there is no asset sign. And if you actually see that the Trump hasn't really imposed any tariff on Indian market yet. Trump has proposed to impose 25% tariff on Mexico, Canada. However, on India, he hasn't really imposed any tariff yet. So the implication is yet to be seen in the market, which might correspond to further fall. Of course, market does incorporate things in advance, and that's the reason why market has fallen. But more fall can happen when that event actually happens. Not much, but some loss or some fall can happen when the event then when that event eventually happen. So I am a little bit bearish on the market, and I'm expecting market to come close to this level, and then there can be a bounce back from here.